Welcome to the Cooper Alumni Series. I'm Dr. Popp, and we are thrilled that you're joining us today to hear stories from our alumni about their experiences beyond John Cooper. Today we have with us Muna Uzodike, who is a member of the class of 2015 and is in med school right now in Austin. And it is just absolutely wonderful to see you back on campus again.
Awesome. Thank you for having me. I was sharing earlier, it's like so special to see how things have changed, but like a building like this that looks quite similar to what I was like when I was doing musical theater and stuff, so I'm super happy to be here.
That's right. And one thing, you were so involved here at Cooper, and remember, when I first came to Cooper, my first day on Cooper, you actually interviewed me for the position of head of upper school, and I walked away from that experience thinking, my goodness, students like this, what a special school and community. Tell us a little bit about what you did at Cooper and how that kind of spurred your curiosity to pursue the things you're pursuing now.
For sure. So came to Cooper in 6th grade, and some of the things that I quickly got involved in were choir, musical theater, and then I really enjoyed student government, and I also played basketball, which, you know, looking back at it, I'm like, wow, that was quite a bit that I was doing as a 12-year-old, but I think Cooper provided such a great opportunity to develop yourself in so many different ways simultaneously, and so I continued with all of those things kind of up until I graduated. I did work with the Diversity Council, I believe is what it was called back then. Yeah, the Diversity Council. I was involved in French and did some competitions with our French team back then as well, and did lots of stuff with fine arts through choir and musical theater. So I had a really good time and really got to develop a lot. And like you were asking how that kind of translated forward, I think going to a school at Cooper where you can do multiple things at the same time allows you to kind of really hone in on the things you're good at, while also kind of having a breadth as well of talents. And so compared to a lot of people that I went to in college, they were like, oh, I played basketball. That was like my one thing I did. I was able to kind of do all of that, and then as I went to college, I was still able to kind of insert those things going forward as well. Well,
that is wonderful to hear, and you added so much to our community while you're here. You've also added to other communities of which you've been a part. Service has been very important to you, and I know that you did that here and then also at Rice. Tell us a bit about how you're still connecting to service and how you're serving the communities and the areas of which you're a part right now.
Yeah, a big part kind of towards the end of all at Cooper was really looking at the Diversity Council work that I was doing, and that translated really strongly for me when I went to Rice University for undergrad. I served as the president for the African Student Association in my junior year of college, but really that was a lot about, for me, finding a big part of my identity and really growing that community, and we ended up doing a lot of international charity work through our culture shows that we would host. I was one of the first people to kind of add on, like, hey, let's add a couple extra dollars to our ticket and let that go towards different charity organizations. And then now at Dell Medical School, still doing a lot of that identity work and really creating opportunities for minority students in medical school. How can they feel better supported? Because, I mean, that's a whole nother conversation for another day, the statistics of how Black students in medical school can really struggle because of, just the amount of barriers that are there. And so a lot of my work is through the Student National Medical Association, working to make sure that students feel connected and also plugging us back into the community as well.
That's absolutely wonderful. So you're in medical school right now?
Yes.
You're nearing the end?
Halfway point. I wish I was at the end, but at the halfway point. At Dell, we do kind of an accelerated curriculum, so I just finished my clinical rotations at the end of my 2nd year. So I'll be actually getting my master's in public health next year within my MD. And so we'll hopefully graduate in 2024 with MD and MPH as well.
My goodness, that's staggering to hear. And you make time in all this to serve on the Cooper Alumni Board.
Yeah.
So that's phenomenal. And you have connected with our alums, and it seems like we're never far away from a Cooper Dragon. There's a number of them in Austin, right?
Yeah, there are a number in Austin, and even getting to connect with those who are just in Texas, outside of Texas through Alumni One, and people that have reached out through there. And so it's for a small school, it's kind of incredible how, you always find a dragon, like you said, somewhere around the corner. So,
that's great. Yeah. Well, it's so great to have you back on campus. We're fortunate that you spent some time with us today, and we look forward to hearing more of your successes going forward. And thank you for joining us for this Cooper Alumni Series.
Thank you for having me.